Okay, this is part 3 of our 7.0 study guide, and we were in the middle of doing this problem. These are our X values, hours rented. These are our Y values, total cost. So I rewrote this so we could read it. We have 3 ordered pairs, 338, 550, and 868. So the question was to what would be the equation of the line that fits this data? Well, if we're going to write an equation of a line, we're going to need a point and a slope, and we can put it in point-slope form, and then we can put it in slope-intercept form. Well, I have 3 points, and I don't have a slope. But if I have 2 points, I can figure out the slope. So I'm going to pick 2 points, and it doesn't matter which 2 I pick. So I pick this and this. I'm going to rewrite these 3,38 and 5,50, and I'm going to label them. This is X, this is Y, this is X, this is Y. We're going to call this point 1 and this point 2, and we're going to use the formula slope equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. That's the change in the y values, which is your rise, over the change in the x values, which is your run. These are all labeled, so we're going to plug them in. Y sub 2 is 50 minus y sub 1, which is 38, over x sub 2, which is 5, minus x sub 1, which is 3. My gosh, this is so easy. So 50 minus 38 is 12, 5 minus 3 is 2, and 12 over 2 is 6. We just found the slope by using 2 of our points in this formula. We found the slope to be equal to 6. So now we know the slope is 6. Let's see, the slope is a rate. So 6 must be the rate, the rental rate. I bet it's $6 an hour to rent a tuba. So now if we have a point and the slope, we can use point-slope formula. We actually have 2 points, but we only need 1. So we're going to use the point that we already labeled x1, y1, and we're going to use the slope that we just figured out, and we're going to put it in point-slope form. So we have y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. This is plain old y, and we're going to subtract y sub 1, which is 38, and that's going to equal slope, which we just determined to be 6. Slope is 6. We did all that. So the slope is 6 times the quantity plain old x minus x sub 1, which is 3. Now I want it in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to do my distributive property. And I'm going to get 6x minus 18, and over here I'm going to get y minus 38. I want y alone, so I'm going to add 38 to both sides. These cancel out, and I'm left with y equals 6x. Now if I have 18 negatives and 30 positives, I have more positives than negatives, so I'm going to have positives left over. You have 20 positives going, not enough negatives came to the party. There's your equation, and you know what this means? This is the slope. The slope is a rate. Rise over run. It's a proportion. It's a rate. So this means $6 per hour. And this is my y-intercept, which means at time 0, it already cost me 20 bucks. Well, what in the world is that? That's the deposit you pay when you go in and say, I want to rent the tuba. And they say, okay, it's 20 bucks deposit just for walking in the door. And then every hour you got to pay an additional $6, and all that added together is going to tell you your total cost. I don't want to play a tuba anyway, so whatever. However, I do admire those who do. Truly. Advanced, a linear function has the same y-intercept as this equation right here. So 3x plus y equals 6 is the equation we're given. But this says a linear function has the same y-intercept as this. So this isn't the linear function, this is another one. But what these two things have in common is the same y-intercept. I think I said it was 6. I didn't mean to say that. These have the same y-intercept. Well, if this is a linear function, this is like some mystery linear function. I don't know what it is yet. I think we're going to probably figure it out. But in the meanwhile, I have to figure out its equation. Well, it has the same y-intercept as this. Well, let's figure out the y-intercept of this equation. If I get y alone, I have to subtract 3x from both sides. These cancel out, and y equals, bring down your negative 3x first, plus 6. Oh, y equals mx plus b. Well, guess what? The same y-intercept as this equation. This equation's y-intercept is 6. So the y-intercept of our mystery function, this guy right here, his y-intercept is also 6. And I happen to know that a y-intercept can also be written, y-intercept means we make x 0, and when x is 0, y is 6. That's also a way to display your y-intercept, this way and this way. And I also know that the y-intercept we often call b. So this is the y-intercept of the equation they gave us. Now we're done with this equation. All they told us was their y-intercepts were the same. Well, good, we found out what it was and we stole it. Okay, so the y-intercept of our mystery function is 6, and I can also show my y-intercept is 0, 6. Now they also tell us the graph contains the point 2, negative 4. So our mystery linear function contains the point 2, negative 4, and it has a y-intercept of 6, which can also be shown as 0, 6. So now find the y-intercept and the slope of the linear function. Well, I know the y-intercept, that's this. So we're good with that, the y-intercept. Now I need the slope. Gosh, how am I going to find the slope? What do I need to find the slope? Oh, look, I have 2 points. Can I find the slope using 2 points? You bet. Slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So I'm going to label these points x1, y1, and x2, y2. Okay, so y2 is negative 4 minus y sub 1, which is 6, over x sub 2, which is 2, minus x sub 1, which is 0. Oh, this is going to be easy. Now look at all these negative signs. Remember what I told you? When you get to this point, you better circle your terms. So you have 4 negatives and 6 negatives, and if you combine all those, it's just a whole bunch of negatives. There's no positives. That's 10 negatives. And if I have 2 positives and I subtract nothing from 2, I get 2. And negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. So the question was, find the y-intercept and the slope of our mystery linear function. Well, the y-intercept was 0, 6, and the slope was negative 5. That's it. That's all she wrote, kids. Yabba dabba do. Good luck.